welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about Marvin the Martian and Multiversus. If you've seen my Multiversus videos, you'll know this is a character that I made. I also used to play a lot of Bugs Bunny, so you can probably guess which franchise is the one that I like most in this game. Marvin is supposed to be an assassin type character, which doesn't mean as much in this state of the game as it used to. It used to be someone who was really good at dealing damage and combos and quick ring outs, but also had a penalty to the amount of damage taken and how far they could be knocked back at lower damage levels. So it's kind of a high risk, high reward sort of character, but they got rid of that kind of disadvantage, and so now Marvin is effectively just a mage type character, which amusingly he originally was going to be before they changed that. I'm not entirely sure why they changed it, but they did. That Shaggy is indistinguishable from the people who normally play this character. One move. There's a lot of amusing little quirks with Marvin. I like how when he walks, a little sound cue that used to play in the Looney Tunes shorts plays. He's also one of the few characters who can move when crouching, and this is also reference to the classic shorts. One of the biggest disadvantages, I actually never know these tiles here go down when someone stands on them. That's a neat little detail. One of the disadvantages of Marvin is that a lot of his moves are on cooldown, specifically his neutral. Get down here, Shaggy. His side special and his up special. These can be comboed together in interesting ways. You can catch the UFO missile in the bubble if you want. Oh, and his button press. That redirects thrown objects or projectiles. It doesn't redirect everything thrown, it doesn't redirect Jerry, for example. But for example, you can do...
Your Scooby snacks are mine!
You know, just really goofy bullshit like that with the character. My biggest complaint with Marvin's kit is that so much of it is on cooldown. For example, I use the side special on the ground, and now I'm trying to use side special again, but that's effectively an entire move he no longer can do. He can still do side specials in the air. Now I get why some moves are like one and done cooldown. I mean, obviously you don't want this bullshit to be spammable. And I somewhat understand the bubble one as well, though I think that could be tweaked a little bit. But one of my big complaints of the character is that Multiversus is a game that's built around a 2v2 playstyle or setup, meaning that it's not just you, but also your teammate you have to account for. And Marvin having only one use of this reverse mechanic for a character who himself has tons of different projectile capabilities, that's kind of limiting, because if your partner ever throws something and misses, but you're in a position where you could reverse it and make it useful, you're kind of screwed. And so I think even if, like, you can't do something immensely stupid like this.
Your Scooby snacks are mine.
I mean, I get why the devs don't want you to do something like that. Maybe have it that once you reverse one of your own projectiles, that's done, and any other use has to either be a unique one of your projectiles that's not on screen, or is reserved for a partner's projectile. I'm a little bit of two minds about a criticism I've had earlier. I still somewhat agree with it, but I also somewhat kind of disagree with it, and that's the ability to immediately launch the UFO rocket rather than effectively having to guide it and sort of babysit it to the right spot. Normally I just kind of have it on the ground because that's where it covers the most area and is the most dangerous. But occasionally you can manage to ladder someone high into the air and hit them with a rocket, doing some additional damage. The reason I'm of two minds about it is because, one, it would be nice to have a little bit more control over it, but on the other hand, like, what's stopping someone from doing that immediately and not giving the opponent a chance at either fleeing or damaging the UFO enough to prevent it from launching a rocket at all? Now, probably one of his more controversial moves is his down neutral. It's a laser gun that perpetually fires out until it hits something or eventually just runs out of charge after several seconds, and the more you use it, the more you yourself get damage. And again, I'm a little bit of two minds about this. I don't like the fact it damages you, but I also get it from a balanced perspective, cause, let me try. You can see just how immensely stupid it can be. It effectively is an area denial over the edge for anyone who's down here. So I get why it's like that from a balance perspective. It's also pretty good for spiking if I could defeat a brain-dead AI who knows only one move. His up... Yeah, I'm not able... Probably should switch the character to one with a little bit less horizontal recovery. But anyways, his up neutral is this little laser blast. On the ground, normally you can change the direction in order to fire at angle. In the air, you can only fire straight up unless you have a specific perk unlocked. And I find that, like, at any given moment, this is basically the only perk of Marvin that really comes off as useful. His down special, again, makes use of his projectile nature, where projectiles are kind of attracted to a character. And automatically go towards them. My mere existence up there confused the Shaggy. You know, he's stuck in this area of influence, the missile will automatically home in on him, which can be pretty useful for especially 2v2s if you manage to get, like, both opponents in, because then what you'll have is... Oh, there's a good example. The missile will have double the chance of managing to hit at least someone, and if they're really close together and really high damage, that's a pretty easy double kill. As far as Marvin's skins go, the most interesting one is the one you see me play in for the Multiversus videos. It's the skin from the appearance in the 2003 Duck Dodgers TV show. It's not a super huge change. They added like bracers to his arms, they changed the helmet a bit and reworked some of the colors, but I still appreciate a reference to that show all the same. It's strangely underrated despite being considered one of the better Looney Tunes spin-offs. His other skins are notably less interesting. There's the Space Jam: A New Legacy skin where he wears a team uniform. The problem being he appeared for like a solid minute and 15 seconds in that movie and was never a part of the team. It was something strictly for advertising. It also, quite frankly, just barely makes any difference when you look at it in the game itself. It's a shirt. And what's even worse than that is the original Space Jam skin, which adds a whistle around his chest and recolors his skirt and tennis shoes. Now, I don't like any of the Space Jam movies. Objectively speaking, they're shit. I contend that the only live-action animated hybrid Looney Tunes movie that was good was Looney Tunes Back in Action, and you can tell there was a tug of war between the directors and Warner Corporate. So, if nothing else, I'm glad they got these Space Jam skins out of the way, and hopefully, if there's more Marvin skins down the line, they're far more interesting. There's plenty of outfits he wore in the Duck Dodgers TV show, for example. There's also the Valentine event variant. Based on the Commander X2 skin, it adds a little animation along his shirt and clothing, and recolors his overall outfit. And somehow this very bare bones holiday recolor recreation comes out as more interesting to look at than the Space Jam skins. I don't necessarily blame the developers for, how bad the Space Jam skins are. There's probably some contractual mandated funny games. All the other Looney Tunes also have skins based on their Space Jam appearances. But I'm glad that those are out of the way. Switch back to my favorite. Marvin as a character in the game is, I think, rather well written. I do wish that a few of the lines for the Duck Dodger skin references the show. I know they do sometimes unique winning and losing animations for skins, and that seems like a little bit of a wasted opportunity, but who knows. But Marvin the Martian is such a fucking cunt in the game, it's great.
I would conquer Krypton, but it is already gone.
Just straight up shit-talking Superman about the fact his planet is gone. He's petty, vindictive, like, planetary racist. I think out of, Multiversus in general, I think, does really well writing the characters. There's that spike I was looking for. Superman, for example, is an overall swell guy, Boy Scout sort of character. Batman is super serious, but you can still tell he's a good guy. I'm actually very interested in seeing if Rick and Morty will have unique lines when they come back. It's also kind of interesting as far as, you know, I think it is, that the only character who doesn't shit-talk Rick is Marvin. Every other character, if they have voice lines with Rick, hate him.
Oh, how I'd like a me
But Marvin,
for
he seems to
myself.
like Rick.
Willing to share? You're so much more intelligent than all the other Earthlings.
This taunt here
Your
is
sparse
weird
whiskers are in for a
in the
pummeling.
sense that I don't have this taunt in my own game. The default taunt, if you watch the Marvin Versus videos, is he does like a little hop and kind of, you know, moves his feet around real quickly.
Oh, how
But
I'd
for
like
whatever
a me
reason,
for
the
myself.
game decided that
Willing to
this
share?
is the default taunt to
You might
use.
be powerful, human slugabed, but I have Mars on my side.
One interesting detail I've noticed is the bubble gun is the gun from the Duck Dodgers TV series. However, it has the same kind of gold color palette that appears when... that's from the Looney Tunes show. They just recycled the gun model for that and recolored it. You know, if I have to be like super pedantic, like just straight up nitpicking, Marvin's Commander X2 outfit should have the original gray and red color scheme, and the flag he plants down should be the one from the Duck Dodgers show. But there's like a million things that the devs need to work on with the game before they do small details for Marvin the Martian. I think of all the funniest moves Marvin has, it has to be the kick. The kind of carryover from when he kicked K9 and Haredevil Hair. There's just something so immensely funny about him going up against mad scientists, giant robots, gods among men, and just being like, dude, get out of here. As far as like any stage, you know, capabilities goes, if he does have a stage, there's obviously like the Hairway to the Stars sort of red strip environment. That's probably gonna be what the stage is. For whatever reason, Warner Brothers decided that's just a sort of default Marvin representation stage across various Looney Tunes games and media. As far as assist trophy capabilities, I mean, he has quite a few, actually. You know, he can summon K9, the Instant Martians, the Centurion Robots, Queen Tyranny, quite a few Marvin-related characters that can be, in fact, utilized for assist trophies. But, yeah, that's kind of all I have to really say about the character. I think he's fun. Could be tweaked just a little bit, but as far as balance goes, I think he's pretty darn balanced as he is. Like, again, just maybe being able to do this more than once a blue moon, or something to do after you do that when you're on the ground. I think his weight is pretty ideal. I don't think there was ever really a scenario after he got a weight buff where I felt that, oh, that definitely should not have been a kill. I think every time someone's managed to ring me out when I was playing Marvin felt very fair considering the damage I had, or the position I was in, or just the strength of the attack. Oh yeah, and this move really does allow you to be such a shitter, it's great. We both know only one move.